So I wanted to show you guys one of the awesome benefits of using compost as your mulch. This bed last year was used for cucumbers, and what we had done was mounded up the mound in the center of where this trellis was and added compost as a mulch to keep the weeds down and to keep the moisture in. And so it just sat there all season long, breaking down, and we left it in the winter, and now all we had to do was just rake. And this soil is ready to be planted into. It has had all those nutrients, added to it during the off season that was taken back out by the cucumbers. It's virtually weed free. There are going to be some annual weeds that pop up in here, but the less frequently that we disturb this, the fewer weeds that we're going to have. So not only did we feed the soil with additional nutrients, it also got the microbiota something to eat as well. It kept the soil covered, so less erosion issues throughout the wintertime, and made it super easy for me to plant into. So the other thing that I'm going to do with this bed to add the nutrients back in is I'm going to plant our spring peas onto this trellis. So peas, anything in the legume family, will add nitrogen. It'll fix nitrogen from the air into the soil through these nodules that are attached to the roots. And so that will add some nitrogen back into this bed at the same time that the compost is adding those nutrients. And then I'll also interplant something that can take advantage of that nitrogen along the base of those plants. A perfect example of interplanting and companion planting, finding something that can take advantage of the soil conditions opposite of each other. And so I'll probably do a leafy green, maybe a spinach or something that really likes nitrogen, and that'll keep the soil covered in the rest of the bed while the peas are growing up the trellis. And then once the peas are spent for the season, because they're a fairly short-lived crop, I won't pull the whole plant. I will cut the plants at the base of the plant, right at the soil line, and leave that root system there in the soil. It's not going to really allow for those plants to come back and be a nuisance, but it leaves those nitrogen nodules in the soil where it's needed rather than being yanked out with the whole plant. So that's one thing to remember when you are planting things that benefit the soil through nitrogen fixation. Anything in the legume family, peas, green beans, that sort of thing, soybeans, is to leave that root mass there. So not only is that leaving the nitrogen at the soil level where it's needed, but it's also building up more biomass that's going to degrade, and once again, that's adding nutrients and that's feeding the microbiota. So all kinds of fun stuff happening out here today. Now, if I can just beat the rain, we'll see how far I can get with this.